30 years back, when Sahasrara was open, I found darkness all over. People were so ignorant. They had no awareness what they have to find. Of course, I found they wanted to find something that was unknown. But they did not know what was unknown, what they have to find. And they were extremely ignorant people about themselves and about their surroundings and about the aim of their life. I didn't know how to start the topic with them. When Sahasrara was opened, I thought of trying self-realization only on one lady. She was an old lady, and there was another lady who also started coming. This old lady got a realization, and then the another lady was much younger. She told me that she gets fits and she gets possessed. Oh my God. I said, how will I give her realization? But somehow she got cured very fast. And she also got her realization. It's a very unknown knowledge. Also, human beings in their ego do not want to accept that they are not yet complete, that they have to have their realization. Also, their style of life was such that they had no time for themselves. I found it very difficult to convince people that you must take your self-realization, because they thought it is something imaginary. It is very far-fetched. And they only believed in gurus who would say, all right, do this much of ritual, karma kand. That's all. And they were doing all kinds of rituals with the kind guidance of their gurus, without knowing that you have to first know yourself, which is said by all the great incarnations, all the saints, clearly. It is not that it was only my idea that people should get their self-realization, but it was the idea of all those people. They said one after another for centuries that seek yourself. Even Christ said, know thyself. Muhammad Sahib said the same. Nanak Sahib said the same. But nobody tried to know that these rituals are not the end of life. They will not serve the purpose, and that you have to have realization. The movement of knowing yourself is very, very slow. And people don't understand why should they know themselves. See, the trouble with human mind at this level or at this time is that they have too much of self-importance. And they think no end of themselves. So already they think we are great. What is there to know ourselves? We know ourselves very well. So the basic seeking power is humility. If you think you know everything, you cannot humble down and you cannot seek. Even if you seek, they don't want to follow anybody's path. They say, we have our own path, we'll follow our own path. We'll do whatever we want to do. And like this, I faced many people in different countries who just came to listen to my lecture, that's all. But they wouldn't take realization. And some of them did take realization, did. They got it, but they got it lost. Somehow, this was such a funny story for me that I am giving them realization. I am taking no money for it, nothing. I used to travel on my own. But despite that, why is it that the people don't realize the value of self-realization? Then a gentleman who got realization in the first lot, he told me, today is a consumer society, as they call it, whatever it is, that unless and until you take money from them, they will never value it. Let them feel that we have paid for it, for our realization. So at the gate only you should keep somebody to take money, otherwise they will not take it. I said, but you cannot sell it, it's falsehood. You cannot sell self-realization to people. He said, then, you see, you won't be successful. With other gurus, this is the main thing, is that they just accept the money. Even they tell them, people bring so much money, do this much, there is a fees. And that's how only the ego is satisfied and people take to false people. This falsehood, they may realize later on, because they suffer a lot with all kinds of physical, mental problems. But by that time, they are gone cases. Now this Sahasrara has not been yet described in any one of the books, though they have talked about it. In our ancient books in India also, they have talked about Sahasrara, but nobody has described it except that it has 1,000 petals. At least if they had mentioned something about it, would have been easier for me to show that, see, this is written in the book. Because people are like that. It has to be written in some book, and that only they accept. It's a very difficult situation. But I was thinking how these people who are lost, here and there under some sort of a seeking, what will happen to them? And how will I be able to give them self-realization? Experiences were so horrid, but doesn't matter. I went on and on and on, and I worked it out. Of course, we met some people who were also very cruel and nasty, who troubled me and troubled Sajogis. All these things should have really dampened my enthusiasm. But on the contrary, I started thinking why people are like this. Then I realized one thing, that we cannot have the whole world to get self-realization. This is the last judgment. At this time, people have to decide what is the most important thing. They have to know themselves and understand what they have.